Away with the fairies. A stuffed wombat production.
Your garden's looking a bit bare. Have you planted your bulbs yet?
Yes, it should be a riot of colour come the spring.
Let's see what your neighbour's garden's
This
like.
is the Shirehampton Stuffed Wombat Society with... Yes, that's
You're
old
too
Professor
late.
Heisenberg's
The play's
garden.
already started.
Ah,
Was it
sorry.
this cat that we turned blue with our swimming pools for pets idea?
Yes, that's the one.
Is it still blue?
No idea. I haven't seen it in ages. Anyway, I don't think old Heisenberg's that keen on gardening. I was talking to him the other day and asked about the mess. He replied that he was on holiday and that's why he couldn't tend his garden.
Oh, a real staycation then?
Indeed. So I very politely suggested to him that if he was having a staycation, he might want to consider doing some gardening.
How did that go down?
Well, he looked me straight in the eyes and asked how he could do that if he was on holiday in Cape Verde.
Cape Verde?
Yes, I did point out to him that you can't be in two places at once, but he just muttered something about people not really understanding quantum mechanics.
Completely mad.
Quite. He's definitely away with the fairies, if you ask me.
Right, that's it. I've had enough of this. You're the billionth person to use that phrase, and we in the fairy realm are fed up with the implied slight.
Blimey, what happened? Where are we?
It looks like some kind of palace. Crumbs, she looks awfully cross, whoever she is.
Hang on, didn't she say something about the fairy realm?
Silence! I am the fairy queen. I have rendered you both to my kingdom to stand trial for slandering fairy kind. We are most definitely not mad, loopy, off our trolleys, or any other kind of crazy you might wish to imply.
But
Your trial is scheduled for tomorrow morning, so let me introduce you to your legal representative. Mr. Costa, would you care to accompany your client to the holding room?
As you wish, Your Majesty. Right, you two. Follow me.
So, how much trouble are we in? I mean, what's the sentence for slander in the fairy realm?
Well, I'm no expert, but...
what do you mean you're no expert? You're our counsel. Aren't you a qualified barrister, or at least the fairy equivalent?
Look, cards on the table. I'm a bit dyslexic. I applied for this role because I thought they were advertising for a barista in the court.
So, not a barrister then?
Sadly not. I mean, in my defence, the interview was woefully short. All they asked was how long I'd been at the bar. Of course, I said I'd been in the post for 10 years. How was I meant to know they meant bar in the legal sense, and not a coffee bar? They hired me on the spot, and I've been too embarrassed to point out their error.
Oh God, we're doomed.
Look, can we get back to my friend's original question? How much trouble are we actually in? I mean, if it's a fine, I might be able to scrape together some cash out of my savings. I think...
No, it won't be a monetary penalty. If you're found guilty, you'll probably both be demonised.
that's not too bad. I've not always been well liked. I think I could cope.
No, I think you're getting the wrong end of the stick. Demonised as in your skin turns red, a couple of horns sprout from your head, tail grows out of your...
Okay, we get the picture.
Yeah, it's not that easy to sleep if you've got the horn, so to speak.
Mug, what are we going to do?
Silence in court. The court shall hear the case of the Crown versus the humans known as Mugg and Zung. All rise for His Honour, Judge Pot Thomas.
Zung, old chap, is that a hippo?
Blimey, it is. What are the chances of that? A hippo with the surname Pot Thomas.
Yeah, normally it's Lord Dumbo.
What, as in the elephant Dumbo?
Yes, sadly Lord Dumbo's been suffering from mental health issues. People keep being told to address the elephant in the room when he's not even there.
Please be seated. Milord, the defendants are charged with slandering fairy kind. The Crown will produce incontrovertible evidence of the pair's guilt.
Indeed. How do the defendants plead?
Oh, please have mercy. I didn't know what I was saying.
Do I take that to be an admission of guilt, Mr. Costa?
I suppose it is. My lord, I'd humbly submit that demonisation would be a cruel and inhumane punishment for those of non-fairy descent. Instead, I wish to assert their right to apply for forfeit by quest.
A most interesting and novel application. Yes, I think the all-or-nothing nature of the quest affords the Crown an excellent option for recompense.
All or nothing? What does he mean?
Well, you either succeed in the quest and are free to go, or you die trying.
What?
By order of the Fairy Queen, your quest shall be to find and capture the Tooth Fairy. As you may have heard, the Tooth Fairy has subjected many of our citizens to unnecessary and expensive cosmetic dental work. We believe she uses the proceeds to procure highly valuable and sought-after children's teeth at knockdown rates. The Queen is determined to stamp out this sinister and illegal trade immediately.
Crumbs! I thought the Tooth Fairy was one of my parents.
A very human misconception. You won't be going on the quest alone.
Well, that's a relief.
The Queen commands that you join an elite band of warriors. The Fairy Godmother will be your team leader. She has a background in anti-mafia, organised crime, and counter-terrorism operations. You'll meet her and the rest of the team tomorrow after your farewell tea.
Oh, that doesn't sound at all ominous. Well, as farewell teas go, that was blooming amazing. Those fairy cakes were unbelievably delicious. But if I never have another cup of dandelion tea, it'll be too soon. I've lost count of how many times I've been to the loo.
I agree. By the way, I seem to have rubbed the barman up the wrong way.
What happened?
Well, I just asked if I could have a gin and a Sprite to see me on my way. The barman gave me a hard stare and told me that it was a bar, not a dating agency.
Ah, I see your mistake. You see...
Listen up, team.
That must be the Fairy Godmother. She looks a pretty tough cookie.
I said listen up. We have fresh intel. The Tooth Fairy has been spotted plying her evil trade at a village only 10 clicks from here. Vock, Irvy, Moans, Ted, Presley, Green with me. Right, the armoury's in the basement. Let's go get kitted up. Mr. Costa, you accompany the two humans downstairs to the front gate. I wouldn't trust those two with a penknife, let alone a fairy sword. Hey, Vock! Take it easy, soldier. Slowly. I said,
I'm going to get me the biggest motherfucker.
ow! Oh! Ow!
Oh, Gord, that didn't sound good.
Vock? Fairy vocal? Are you okay?
She looks dead.
God damn it. Fairy vocal. She was always so loud and forthright. Such a shame she was so short-sighted. Never terribly good on stairs.
Perhaps demonisation wasn't such a bad option after all. At this rate, we'll all be dead by the time we reach the village.
I think it's probably too late to change our minds now. Come on, let's be careful.
So how come you're with us, Mr. Costa?
Your trial was such a shambles, I got fired for incompetence.
I'm sorry to hear that. Look, now that you're not our legal representative, can we stop calling you Mr. Costa?
Of course. The name's Ilarion Costa. Though most of my former customers at the coffee bar used to shorten it to Isla. They thought it was hilarious. I'll have a cappuccino, or I'll have a latte.
That joke must have worn a bit thin after the first few days.
Well, if I'd wanted a tip, I just had to grin and bear it.
OK, the target settlement's 100 metres dead ahead.
Can we go home now? I'm fed up and I want a bath.
Shut it, Corporal Moans. Pull yourself together. We've only walked 10 clicks.
Isla? Who's that? She's a bit sweaty and smelly, but I find her strangely attractive.
Oh, that's fairy moans. Yeah, she does like to whinge a bit. Her boyfriend told me she's always moaning. Then he winked at me. I wasn't quite sure what he meant. Anyway, she's a real trooper and a brilliant athlete. That's why she was picked for the team.
Right, we need a plan. The Tooth Fairy never travels alone. I expect she'll have some of her private army with her. We could well be outnumbered if we try a full frontal assault. Suggestions?
Excuse me, but as a man with extensive military experience, I think I have an idea.
So Moans was up for your plan, was she? I mean, it's a bit bloody risky, isn't it? What if they simply shoot her on the spot?
Oh, I don't think they will. I've made her do several short sprints and 100 press-ups to get her warmed up. I think she's ready. Look, she's going in.
Crumbs, the guards at the hut have seen her already. They're raising their guns.
Well, hello, boys.
Mug, what have you done? Crikey, she's hitching up her skirt.
Be patient.
Who's looking for a good time then?
Why not?
Well, what are you waiting for?
Oh, I can't watch this.
Don't worry.
You'll have to catch me first. See ya.
Crikey, she's quick. Crumbs, they're all following her too.
Told you not to worry. Apparently she won the 10k gold medal at the last Fairy Olympics. I very much doubt they'll catch her.
OK, team, move in. Let's go capture us a tooth fairy.
So where is she?
She must have heard the shouting outside, saw a bodyguard leaving and taken fright. It looks like she left via the back door.
How are we going to find her now?
My guess is that she knows we're onto her and is headed back to her castle. Her entire army are stationed there. It's going to make our job a lot more difficult.
And how far is this castle?
Another 20 clicks southwest. We'll hunker down here tonight and set off again at 0600 tomorrow.
It's only 5 o'clock. What are we going to do for the rest of the evening? Is there anything good to watch on the telly?
What's the telly?
Ah,
Well, whatever it is, why would you watch it when we have one of the best stand-ups in the realm on our team? Hey, Ted, do you fancy doing a set for us tonight?
Yay, I'd love to.
Crumbs, I didn't see you there.
That's jolly unconventional camouflage. I wouldn't have thought a checkerboard pattern would be particularly effective.
Oh no, that's not camouflage. That's my skin.
Gosh, well, it's very pretty, even if it does make you quite hard to see.
Thank you so much. You're very kind.
I hope you don't mind me asking, Ted, but you're a bit different from the other fairies.
Of course I am. I'm a pixie. Oh, and call me Ella. Ted's my surname. My parents called me Ella because I was such a happy baby.
Hang on. So you're Ella Ted or Elated, and you're a pixie covered with checkerboard camouflage, so you're actually pixelated.
Yes? Why?
Well, the square blotches on your skin are like pixels, so...
What's a pixel?
Oh, never mind.
I think I'm beginning to see a pattern here. Fairy vocal, fairy moans, they're both homonyms. So the quiet one over there, Presley, he doesn't look like a fairy or a pixie. Let me...
Yes, he's half elf. He doesn't have much conversation, but he's seen a lot of action.
Right, so that makes him Elvish Presley.
Yes? So?
Zung, old chap, we're bloody doomed. I don't think there's a real soldier among us.
Well, I must say that Ella was absolutely fantastic. I haven't laughed so much in ages.
Hey, look, up ahead, just appearing over the rise. Is that the castle we're heading for?
Yes, that's the Tooth Fairy's stronghold, Castle Al Dente.
Wow, it's pretty spectacular. Look at the way it sparkles in the sunlight.
That'll be the solid diamond walls. They're virtually immune to all but our biggest siege cannons.
Blimey, that must have cost a fortune to build.
No, actually diamonds are dirt cheap in the fairy realm.
Goodness.
Get down! I think they've seen us.
I say, that's jolly. Is that a firework display? Oh, no, it's a string of coloured lights. They seem to be coming this way.
Take cover!
What the hell was that?
Fairy lights courtesy of the Tooth Fairy's private army, the Fairy Light Brigade. Luckily, I think we're more than half a league away, just out of range.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous.
Has anyone got eyes on the castle? How many combatants are we looking at?
Hang on. Right, so at a guess, I'd say there are a couple hundred stationed in the courtyard.
How can you tell? Can you see through walls or something?
Well, of course she can. The walls are made of diamonds, duh! That's one of their drawbacks.
Right, so there are, 6 of us against an army of 100? I think I'd prefer demonisation to death. Can we give up now, please?
No, there are 7 of us.
I only count 6.
What's that, Green?
Who are you talking to?
Lieutenant Green. Are you sure, Green?
Mug, I think the fairy godmother's lost it.
Well, if you're sure.
Look, would you mind telling us who you're talking to? Is Green invisible?
No, she's on the floor in front of you.
What, that patch of green liquid?
Yes, that's Fairy Liquid. Green's her nickname.
Well, of course it is. How stupid of me not to know.
OK, Green, if you think your plan will work, go for it. I think she's made it. Yep, there she is. She slipped under the main gate.
OK, call me naive, but exactly how is she going to take on 100 heavily armed soldiers?
Easy. She's going to have a bath.
Well, at least she'll be clean when she dies. It's suicide.
Ted, has she made it to the fountain?
Affirmative.
Well, I'd give those soldiers 10 minutes tops. Sit trap.
The foam is still rising. It's about to overtop the castle ramparts. Just top of the central tower clear of foam now.
Excellent. I pity those poor saps. Suffocation by foam isn't exactly the most heroic way to die, but at least they'll be clean when they're buried.
Who'd have thought that fairy liquid could be so lethal?
OK, crew, let's move up.
Why are all those fairies surrounding the castle dressed in striped shirts and berets?
Damn it! It's a mime field. They're silent assassins. There were rumours that the Tooth Fairy was creating a Marcel Marceau line to defend the castle.
How are we going to get through? They're so densely packed we'd never slip past without one of them going off.
We can't defuse them all either. It would take forever. I'll take any suggestions you might have. Otherwise, it's game over.
Hang on. I might just have an idea. Ted, could I have a word?
This is going to have to be the performance of Ted's life.
How's she doing?
I think her jokes are going down well. I can see several of the mimes miming laughter. Oh, that must have been a good joke. A couple of them are rolling on the floor.
Come on, Ted, keep going. You can do it. Knock 'em dead.
Crumbs, that was a big hit. It's taken out half the field. They mimed doubling over with laughter, then fell on their back with their feet in the air. I think that means they've died laughing.
I think we have a clear path to the gate now. Irvy, you're up. See if you can open the gate.
Yes, sir.
Good lad. Now go, quick, before the remaining part of the minefield reorganises.
He's almost through the mime field. He's through. Just a few more metres and he'll be at the door.
God damn it! There's a minefield beyond the minefield. Careful, Irvy.
Oh no, he's hit a mine. He's been blown sky high. His poor little body must be 100 feet in the air now.
Whee!
And now he's coming down.
Ouch! Crumbs, no one's going to survive. Crikey, he's got up. Gordon Bennett, he's heading towards the gate again.
He's been blown up again. Poor bugger, but what a trooper.
I wouldn't worry about him.
Ah, Presley, how nice to hear from you at last. So, tell me, why shouldn't we worry about poor little Irvy being blown up?
Well, he's an imp, isn't he?
So?
It's not surprising he's okay. His real name's Irvius.
Oh, I thought he might be French with a name like Irvy.
What's French?
I give up.
Ah, I see. No wonder he's getting blown up without even the slightest scratch.
Would you mind explaining it to me then?
Because he's impervious. You know, impervious. Just like the rest of them. This sort of nominative determinism must be a thing in the fairy realm.
That last one's blown him up and over the castle wall. He should have the doors open in a couple of minutes.
So you think the Tooth Fairy is in the room at the top of the tower, do you?
It was the only place clear of the foam, so it's the logical option. We need to be careful. She can be pretty dangerous when she's cornered.
OK, let's assume she's there. How are we going to make sure she doesn't escape again once we capture her?
With these.
What, with a bunch of flowers? Are you suggesting we give her them and ask her nicely not to escape?
No, you moron. These are daisy chains, the strongest material known to fairy kind.
Get away.
OK, you try and break them.
Give 'em here. Bloody hell, that's ridiculous. They look so flimsy.
Right, so how are we going to capture her? I'll take any ideas for a workable plan.
I think I have an idea. Presley, we could use your skills to create a diversion that allow Mr. Costa to slip in for the kill, so to speak.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time.
She's loving it. She's mesmerised. Keep it up, Presley. Boy, look at those hips go.
Mr. Zung, this is all very well, but how is Mr. Costa going to get in there and slap the daisy chains on her?
Don't worry, everything's under control. Mr. Costa, are you ready?
Yeah.
Go in there and be yourself. Remember who you are. Here, take the chains.
Crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Thank you very much.
Costa? That was amazing. I didn't think you had it in you. Such bravery. No doubt you'll get a medal for this. How on earth did you pull that off?
I did what Mr. Zung told me. I went in and simply thought to myself, I'll Costa. I was myself.
When I'm free, I'll get you meddling humans. Mark my words.
Shut it, Tooth Fairy. You ain't getting out for a long, long time.
And finally, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Zung and Mr. Mugg for their invaluable contribution to the mission. As a token of our gratitude, I'd like them to accept this small gift.
Crumbs? Well, thank you, Your Majesty.
It's been sealed with magic to prevent it from being opened until you've left the fairy realm. That'll deter any of our kind from trying to steal it from you on your journey home.
Can't you simply magic us back like you did when you brought us here?
Unfortunately, that's a one-way process, but the journey back isn't too arduous. All you have to do is cross yonder river. Oh, it might require a song. The boatman can be a bit arsey at times.
Well, I'm blowed if I can see a boat. Can you see anything, Mug?
No, but I can see buildings on the other side of the river.
Any idea where we might be?
Well, I might be wrong, but it looks like the Liver building. You know, the one in Liverpool.
What, you mean this might be the River Mersey?
Could be.
What did the Fairy Queen say? Something about the boatman being arsey and the need for a song. Maybe the boatman only turns up if we sing.
OK, but the Queen didn't tell us what we're supposed to sing. I mean...
Oh, of course, I know. Come on, Mug. Join in if you know the words. What we need is a ferry across the Mersey, 'cause this land's the place I love. Ferry across the Mersey, 'cause this land's the place I love. Ah, that's a nice cup of Earl Grey.
Indeed it is, but I wouldn't say no to one of those fairy cakes. Mr. Kipling's cakes taste rather dull by comparison. Anyway, let's open the Fairy Queen's gift.
The pouch can't hold much. Let's hope it's filled with diamonds. Didn't they say they were dirt cheap to them?
The suspense is killing me. What's in the pouch?
Bugger.
What is it? Is it valuable?
Well, they are to the fairies.
What are?
Children's teeth. Is it me now?
Yes, get on with it.
Thank you. Away with the Fairies was written by Tim Reed and starred Richard Hall as the announcer and Dick Zung. Tim Reed was the author and Timothy Mugg. Jill Barrington was the Fairy Queen. Sarah Gorton was the court clerk. Mark Fowler was Lord Pot Thomas. Paddy Fowler was Ilarion Costa. Sam McCann was the Fairy Godmother. Cindy Reed was Fairy Vocal. Hazel Hall was Fairy Moans. Florence Smith was Pixie Ella Ted. Beth McCann was Elvish Presley, Freddie Gorton was Imp Pervious, and Caitlin Asbury was the Tooth Fairy. Sound effects were magic, and it was a stuffed wombat production.